ideal father is involved and loving and instructive and real. It's real.
I think a father has to be a person that instills values in his children, in my case, in his son. Has to be there, has to be dependent, has to be stable, and has to make sure that he conveys to his son that his son is always loved, no matter what.
A man that loves his children and his wife unconditionally, which is hard to do. A role model for his own kids, but also other kids. A Christian.
I've been thinking about that question. I think kind of like being a tour guide. You have the opportunity to be the leader of your family. You can take them down the right path, you can take them down the wrong path, and the whole crew is looking to you. Your family's looking to you all the time. What's the right answer?
I learned to put other people first. I really try to do that. It goes against our human nature. But Dad always taught us to put other people first, to love everyone, and to work hard. He taught me to work hard, too.
My dad worked out of town a lot, especially when I was young. In fact, he worked down south in Mississippi and Louisiana. And one thing I learned from him there was, he had respect for people of different races and different upbringings than we had. And, I probably didn't notice it as much at the time, but over my life now, I realized what he thought was important about other people, and that's helped me along.
My dad, growing up, it was always black and white with my dad. There was never a gray area. It was either right or wrong. And he's always had a passion for people. And he also has a passion for woodworking. And to be next to my dad and to take in all the trade that he had of being a woodworker, I really appreciated watching the process of a project go from start to finish. And he taught me that, and I got to watch how my dad worked, not only with his hands, but how he worked with his customers, treating them like they should be treated. Always treat them number one.
He was one that, put the Lord first. He put his family second, friends and family third, and then so on and so on. The main things is that we were blessed to experience how he showed Christ through all of that, through his life, and how he does it even today.
Some other ways that God used my dad is, I think God used my dad to teach me that, being a dad was important, and it was important for, father to love his children, to love his wife, to always be there for them, be supportive and encouraging, to guide them, and even to discipline.
Dad was head of the household, made sure that we went to church every time the doors opened. I was very blessed that way. He was a strong leader in that we were going to go to church on Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday nights. So he kind of led the way in our household. Mom also, she went, completely along with him, but we did a lot of things together as a family in church. Like I said, we basically grew up in church, and that's one thing that I've tried to focus my family's life around is church.
He taught me how to be rooted and grounded in Christianity. And, of course, we went to church on a regular basis, and I remember many specific times, but oftentimes when I was at the altar praying, I always felt a hand on my back, and I knew that it was my father.
He taught my brother and I that we needed to mean everything we sang, and that God's whole purpose for us being here was to love people because they were eternal, and so that every single decision we made was an act of worship back to our Heavenly Father. And so I I had a really easy time picturing my Heavenly Father because my dad made that connection for me.